If you're diabetic and not doing these three things every morning, start now. You ever hear something that just makes you stop and think, why didn't anyone tell me this sooner? That's how I felt today. I found out that most folks with type 2 diabetes skip three simple things every morning. Things that can make their blood sugar more stable throughout the whole day. I ain't talking about expensive shakes or hard-to-pronounce herbs. I mean regular, everyday actions that folks like us can do right after getting out of bed. My sugar used to bounce around like a squirrel in church. But after adding these to my morning routine, everything started to feel steadier. I don't need no miracle cure, just little choices with big results. There's so much noise out there, pills, gadgets, even those TV doctors always shouting. But sometimes the answer's right in front of us, tucked in the quiet hours of the morning. I've lived long enough to learn that the first hour after you wake up sets the tone for the whole day, especially when your pancreas ain't what it used to be. These three habits helped me feel less foggy, more energized, and gave me some peace of mind. And Lord knows, peace of mind is hard to come by when you're always worrying about your blood sugar. Stick with me here. This could be a small turning point for you, like it was for me. If you're over 60 and care about your health, give this video a thumbs up and send it to someone you love. Number 3, a tall glass of water. The first thing I reach for in the morning isn't my glasses or even my slippers. It's a tall glass of water, cool and clear, straight from the kitchen tap. I started doing that after a friend from church told me he started drinking water before anything else, and it helped level his sugar numbers. I figured, what's the harm in trying? I never expected such a big difference from something so small. My mornings felt smoother. I wasn't so foggy-headed or sluggish, and the cravings didn't hit me as hard before lunch. It's like giving your body a gentle nudge instead of a jolt. And in my case, my blood sugar started behaving more like a polite guest than a rowdy neighbor. Water's the kind of thing we take for granted. It doesn't come with fancy packaging or colorful labels, but there's a reason God gave it to us in such abundance. After a night of sleep, we wake up dry on the inside, even if we don't feel it. That hidden dehydration makes our blood thicker, which pushes sugar readings higher than they need to be. I heard a doctor once say, think of your blood like sweet tea. The less water, the stronger and stickier it gets. That made it real clear for me. One big glass of water helps thin things out and wake up the whole system. Sometimes I squeeze in a slice of lemon, just for a little brightness. Nothing too sour. My granddaughter says it smells like summertime when I do that. I call it my morning sunshine. It helps me wake up without feeling jittery or rushed. There's a peace in starting slow, not grabbing the coffee mug right away, but letting water lead. I even say a little prayer with that first sip. It reminds me that caring for this old body is still a blessing I've been given, even after all these years. Back in the day, we'd wake up and head straight for coffee, strong, black, and not a drop of cream. That was a routine. But I've learned now that my body needs water before caffeine. It's like watering a dry garden before planting seeds. If you pour hot coffee into a system already thirsty, it only drains you more. Now I let the water go first, and the coffee waits its turn. Funny how something so small can change the whole rhythm of your morning. And your numbers too. My neighbor Earl, he's a veteran like me, started doing it after his morning walks. Then one day, he flipped it, water first, then the walk. He swears his glucose stopped spiking afterward. Said he even sleeps better. I asked him what changed, and he just said, I stopped waking up dry. That made sense. Most of us don't realize how much being even a little dehydrated affects our brain, our mood, and our sugar. It's like running a truck with no oil. Sooner or later, something's going to rattle loose. I've noticed when I skip the water, like if I sleep in or forget, my stomach feels heavier, and I reach for snacks sooner. That one habit sets the tone. When I drink water first, I make better choices without thinking too hard about it. It's not willpower. It's just momentum. You feel cleaner, lighter, more steady. Even my eyes feel less dry. That little sip starts something good that carries through breakfast, lunch, and even into the evening. Sometimes I sit at the kitchen table, watching the light come through the curtains, hands around my glass, and I just breathe. It's a quiet moment. Nobody asking for anything. Just me, the Lord, and a glass of his purest gift. And to think, I almost ignored it all these years. Now it's the first step in how I care for my sugar and my soul each morning. Small, simple, and powerful, just like grace itself. Number 2, morning movement. The older I get, the more I believe our bodies were made to move. Even just a little, first thing in the morning. I used to think I needed a gym or fancy equipment, but now I know better. I just stretch my arms, roll my shoulders, and take a few slow laps around the living room while the coffee brews. Some mornings, I even march in place while brushing my teeth. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to get the blood flowing. After a while, you start noticing how less stiff your joints feel. You breathe a little deeper, and your mind wakes up faster. And believe me, your blood sugar notices too. I may not run marathons, but I sure walk into the day a little stronger than before. Back when I retired, I had this habit of staying in bed too long. Thought I'd earned it, but I'd feel sluggish all morning, and my glucose would spike even before breakfast. A nurse at the clinic said something simple. Move your muscles before you move your fork. That phrase stuck like honey on cornbread. She explained that even gentle motion helps the body use insulin better. I figured, why not give it a try? I started pacing the hallway after I brushed my teeth. It felt silly at first, like I was walking without a destination. But after a week, my energy changed. And so did my numbers. One morning, I looked outside and saw the leaves shaking just a bit in the breeze. I thought, if that tree can sway, so can I. So I stood on the porch and did a few stretches like I was reaching for a basket on the top shelf. No pain, just a nice pull through the arms and back. I call it my sunrise stretch. The birds chirping, the cool air, the light warming my face. It reminds me that each day is fresh, a gift from God. I started doing it every day, rain or shine. It's a quiet little prayer with my body, a way to say thank you before I even say amen. I remember my cousin Ray telling me about his trick. He sits in his kitchen chair and lifts his knees up like he's stomping grapes. Says it helps his digestion too. He's not the exercise type, but ever since his doctor told him moving helps insulin sensitivity, he got serious. His blood sugar got steadier within a month. Now, he turns on old country music and swings his arms while the grits cook. It's not about sweating. It's about waking the body up kindly. Ray says, you don't need to run from a bear. Just stop sitting like one. Sometimes I put on gospel music and do what I call praise and pace. I'll walk slowly from one end of the kitchen to the other, humming along. It's peaceful and gets the heart moving. My wife used to giggle watching me, but now she joins in too. We hold hands, sway a little, stretch a little. It turns into something sweet, something shared. And somehow, the rest of the day just feels easier to face. Blood sugar included. Movement doesn't just help the body. It lifts the spirit too. To help me stay on track, I made a small sign and taped it to the mirror in the bathroom. It says, "First steps matter." That little reminder nudges me every morning. Even when my knees are stiff or the weather's cold, I do something, even if it's just 10 steps or a few deep breaths with arm rolls. Over time, it became a habit I can't skip, like brushing my teeth. And you know what? The scale's a little friendlier now. So's my A1C. Praise God for small victories. We don't need big moves to make a big difference. Just a choice to say, today, I'll move a little. It's an act of faith in the body God gave us. Diabetes might try to slow us down, but that doesn't mean we stop. Not now. Not ever. These morning moments of movement have given me more energy, steadier sugar, and a deeper appreciation for every step I can still take. Sometimes healing begins with the first foot on the floor. Number 1, a protein-packed breakfast. When I was younger, breakfast meant biscuits, gravy, and enough syrup to drown a pancake. That plate sure looked good, but Lord knows it sent my blood sugar on a roller coaster before 10 a.m. These days, I've learned to start with something a little more steady. Protein, eggs, a slice of turkey, even Greek yogurt now and then. It fills me up and keeps me level. I never thought something so plain could feel like such a solid foundation, but it does. No spikes, no crashes, just a slow, peaceful start to the day. One morning, I swapped my usual toast for 2 scrambled eggs with spinach. Didn't think much of it at the time, but I checked my sugar a few hours later, steady as a fence post. That caught my attention. Over the next few weeks, I started adding more protein and noticed I wasn't hungry mid-morning like before. No more rummaging to the pantry looking for crackers or sweets. Protein gave me a kind of calm, like my body wasn't begging me to chase the next bite. Now I keep it simple. Some days it's a boiled egg with a slice of cheddar. Other times, cottage cheese with few berries on top. You'd be surprised how good it tastes when your body's truly hungry. I might sprinkle some cinnamon or flaxseed in there too, just like my mama used to do back when money was tight and meals were smart. It's not about fancy diets. It's about food that works with you, not against you. That's something I had to learn the hard way. My grandson asked me once, "Pawpaw, don't you miss pancakes?" I laughed and told him, sometimes. But I don't miss feeling like I need a nap right after breakfast. He didn't get it, but I know y'all do. That sleepy, heavy feeling after too many carbs. It steals your energy before the day's even started. Protein helps avoid that. It's like putting clean fuel in the tank instead of sugar water. And when you feel better, you do better. It's as simple as that. Historically, folks in farming towns started their day with eggs, meat, and beans, not pastries and juice. There's a reason for that. They needed real fuel to get through their chores. We may not be milking cows anymore, but our bodies still need that kind of solid foundation. It helps balance insulin, curb cravings, and keeps your mind clear. I always say, give your body what it can use, not what just tastes sweet going down. A good breakfast with protein also makes it easier to say no to temptations later in the day. I used to grab donuts at church on Sundays. Couldn't resist. But once I started eating protein beforehand, I noticed I wasn't even drawn to the table. My appetite had already been satisfied in the right way. That alone made a big difference. God gave us self-control, sure, but He also gave us wisdom to feed ourselves right, so that self-control doesn't have to fight so hard. These days, breakfast feels like a moment of gratitude. I thank the Lord for one more day, one more chance to take care of this old body the best I can. And sitting down to a plate that's doing me good, not harm, feels like an act of quiet respect for my health, for my family, and for the years I still have left. A protein-packed breakfast doesn't just help my sugar, it helps me feel like myself again. There was a time when I felt like my diabetes was running the show, like I was just holding on, hoping for a smooth day here and there. But after I started doing these 3 things each morning, something shifted. Not overnight, not with fireworks, but slowly like a fog lifting. A tall glass of water, a bit of gentle movement, and a real breakfast with protein. That's all. No magic pills. No complicated rules. Just small choices that made my mornings feel like mine again. And that gave me hope. Hope that this condition doesn't have to steal the joy out of life after 60. I know it can feel overwhelming, especially when the numbers won't budge or your energy feels gone by noon. But these simple habits aren't about perfection. They're about rhythm, about starting each day with kindness toward your body. If your mornings feel scattered or rushed, you're not alone. I've been there too. But each of these 3 steps gave me a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. A glass of water reminded me to wake up gentle. A bit of movement said, "You're still able." And that protein breakfast told my body, "You're safe, no crash today." If you've been struggling to manage your sugar, I encourage you to try these in the order I shared, just for 1 week, not for results, but for routine. See how your body feels. Maybe write it down in a little notebook. I do. It helps to see the pattern. And if you're not sure what works best for your health, that's okay too. Talk to a doctor or a trusted nutritionist. Let them know you're ready to make small changes. Trust me, good doctors love to hear that. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just take better care of your mornings. There's a quiet kind of power in getting your first hour right. It sets the tone for the next 23. It helps your sugar, your thinking, your energy, even your patience with your grandkids. I thank the Lord every morning I wake up with a chance to do these things again. Because each day is another opportunity to choose life, not fear, to choose care, not chaos. And when you do that long enough, your body notices. Your soul does too. Take this as a gentle nudge from someone who's walked this road and is still walking it every morning, one step at a time. Try the water. Stretch those arms. Cook that egg. Do it for your health, your peace of mind, and the people who love you. But mostly do it for you, because you're still worth taking care of. And every day you choose to do so is a blessing in itself. Take care of yourselves, and God bless y'all.